Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Restorative Yoga with Simple Home Props. My name's Bridget from Lucky Elephant Yoga and Wellness, and I'm going to be showing you how to do a traditional restorative yoga practice, but outside of the yoga studio and right in the comfort of your own home, in your living room, perhaps, just like you're in my living room right now. And so we're going to use props that you can typically find around your house. Things like couch cushions and bed pillows and a couple of little throw blankets. And then I have a little fancy eye mask, but you can also substitute an eye mask with just a rolled up scarf or another extra small blanket or even a small towel, right? Something to go over the eyes and give you a little bit of extra comfort and darkness and ease in the body. So, talking a little bit about restorative yoga to start, restorative yoga is all about ease. It's all about rest. It is all about really letting your parasympathetic nervous system take over, which is your rest and digest nervous system. And so, too many times during life, we are constantly on the go. Our gas pedal is always at like full flat on the ground, rearing all the time. And even when we sleep at night, we don't find the amount of rest that we need. We are still tossing and turning. We are still having very vivid dreams. And we're waking up feeling even more tired than before we went to bed. And so, this actually, this chronic stress, this chronic stimulation of our sympathetic nervous system can lead to a lot of real complications with the body, with our systems not working properly. And, lack of sleep wreaks such havoc on your body and your brain. So, restorative yoga teaches our bodies, teaches our nervous system how to ground. It teaches the parasympathetic or allows the parasympathetic nervous system to take over and that sympathetic nervous system to just let go. But it takes time for the body to do this. You can't just go into a restorative pose, stay for a couple of minutes, and be done. It really takes at least 8 minutes for the relaxation effect in the body to kick in, and then you start to see benefits. But you have to give it that time and you have to give it that work of staying, that work of permission to let yourself really absorb this practice and everything that it has to give you. So, in our restorative yoga practice, we'll position our bodies in ways that prop, support, and allow things to release in different ways, in different positions, so that the breath can travel. Because our breath in yoga is called our prana, but prana is also called our life force. So, it's that concept that if we don't have the breath, then our full systems, our life force, the energetic force in our body does not flow as well. So we put ourselves in these positions to awaken prana in different areas of the body as well. And so, really, your job in this practice is just be, let go, and relax, which, wow, is such a big, giant word for a lot of people. So, tonight's practice, I am going to put you in poses or show you how to put yourself into poses. And then I'm going to empower you to pause the video and give yourself the amount of time that you are able to give. With this concept that we need at least 8 minutes to relax. So, most of our postures are done anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. But you know yourself, you know your situation, you know how much time you have. So, this class can be done in pieces. This class can be done all at once, right? Maybe you have this class and you've got it kind of in your arsenal and you just pull out a pose a night. That would work as well. So, you're going to be able to set your own timer, pause the video, and stay for the amount of time of your timer. And then you'll come back and I'll show you another posture. And so we'll kind of progress these postures, but they can be done independently. You don't have to progress to certain things like in a regular vinyasa flow class, where you don't want to be doing headstands right at the beginning of class. For restorative, you can do any of these postures at any time. So feel free to take one, do it a night, take another, do it another night. And maybe once a week, you give yourself that full hour and a half to just relax and be. And I think that you'll see a lot of really wonderful efforts, wonderful benefits in the way that you're sleeping, the way that you're interacting during your days, your emotional state, your reactivity will change. All of these things can be really great benefits with a consistent restorative yoga practice. Okay? So let's just take a nice moment together to just collect our breath. So you can sit comfortably wherever you are. Oh, and by the way, a couple of more things, sorry, before we sit. I don't turn music on for these, but please feel free to turn on soft music. We typically say restorative yoga should be done in the quiet, but sometimes just a little bit of soft, low music can also help you to just let go a little bit as well. Um, Comfortable clothing so that you're not having to shift and adjust your clothes. I always love some good fuzzy socks for those of you that have done restorative with me before. If you have a scarf, you can also put that on over yourself as well. And then I practice on my rug in my living room because it's a nice high pile rug, but anywhere that you are comfortable, just not in your bed or on your couch, because we don't want the urge to fall asleep. If you fall asleep, don't worry, don't stress about it. But we don't want to practice in a place that's going to automatically trigger ourselves to go to sleep. Things like our couch and our bed, which typically are our trigger of our body to fall asleep. Okay, so now that we've gotten through that, let's take a nice, comfortable seat together. Let your hands just rest on your thighs with your elbows released below your shoulders. Grow tall through the crown of your head. And from here, you can close your eyes or find a soft downward gaze. And just notice where you're coming from for this practice today, where your body has been along its journey, where your mind has been. And notice the breath without judgment or worry about how you might be breathing or not be breathing. Just simply allow your mind to find awareness. To that gentle rise of the inhale and the gentle fall of the exhale. And you might notice that as you allow the awareness to come to the breath, then things start to let go. And you can feel those sits bones rooted down to give you comfort and support down into the earth below you, while the sky lifts and supports you. Now let's place a hand on the belly. Begin to allow the breath to grow into the belly. That rise with the inhale and the softening with the exhale. So we start to already inform the nervous system here. And with your next exhale, take a sigh out your mouth, like you're fogging up a mirror. Big full breath into the belly, and a sigh out the mouth. Good, let's do that one more time collectively together. Big inhale, and exhale. And then just release your hand back to your thigh. And those big, full, deep breaths. And then your eyes can flutter open or your gaze can lift softly. And we'll come into our first posture of the evening. So our first posture is going to be a Supta Baddha Konasana, which is my favorite way to start. I know I say this most classes, but it really is. I believe it's a wonderful way to start a restorative yoga practice because it allows your body to transition from vertical to more horizontal in a gradual progression. So I have 2 couch cushions here, 2 bed pillows, 2 throw blankets, and an eye pillow, as I said before. I am going to take one of my couch cushions and I'm just going to lean it against my couch, but not quite as high as my couch. So just a little bit below. I have like a little bit of a ridge there that it'll rest on and it won't give out on me. And then I'm just going to come and sit at the edge here. And then I'm going to take my other couch cushion and set it in front of me. Now, if your couch cushion is really high, like mine's really high, and it feels uncomfortable, then take something lower, like even just throw blankets under your knees. I like this little lift. I don't know, it makes me happy just to have a little bit of an elevation as well to the feet. But if that doesn't feel right, then just simply these throw blankets right underneath the knees, just like this, with the soles of your feet together, your knees apart. And then my pillows are going to come and rest right on my thighs. Okay. And as I lay back, good, I'm going to let my head rest. And if it feels a little, which mine does, it feels a little too far back, I need a little bit of support underneath my head. I'm going to just grab another little pillow, which I always forget to grab. And I'm just going to set it here. I'm actually setting it on kind of the pointed end facing down, so you can see it a little better from the, just like that, so that this edge comes right between, right where that bump is, right on the back of your neck. That's your C7 vertebrae. And so that's a very vulnerable part of your neck. And so we want to just give a little bit of extra support there. Yeah, that's much better. And then my knees are going to rest on my blankets and my hands are resting on my pillows so that my elbows are released a little lower. And that's just going to soften the shoulder joints a little bit. All right. So, and then the piece de resistance, where did it go? Is your eye pillow. Mine seems to have, there it is, disappeared for a second. Here we go. So then we set up our eye pillow to create a little bit of release through the muscles around the eyes. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so you can get yourself set up in this posture, and my suggestion for this pose is anywhere from 10 to 20. Typically, in a standard restorative class, we do this pose for about 15 minutes. So if you can muster up doing 15 minutes in this pose, it's a really great way to transition into your practice tonight. So go ahead and pause your video, get yourself all set up, and set your timer for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. Standard of somewhere around 15 if you can handle it. And just breathe. Just let the pose release you. Let the time in the pose release you. And don't judge if there's any residual tension that needs to be worked through. Just give yourself that permission to let go. All right, so I'll see you after this pose. Enjoy. Okay, welcome back. So, next posture that we're going to move into tonight is a good twist. So, that bolster or that, well, makeshift bolster, the couch cushion that you used, you can just kind of set down flat. And then what you're going to need is a pillow and a pillow on the other side. And then one of your throw pillows or throw blankets in between, opened up enough that it can be in between your knee and your feet. So your knees and your feet are going to stack right like this. Okay. And now I want you to start on your right hip first, but I want to just show you, actually, I'll show you on the right hip. So you see this. And so I'm just going to turn around to the other way. And I'm going to sit right up at the edge of my couch cushion. And I'm going to take a nice big breath in. And then I'm going to exhale. And at the end of my exhale, when I'm all emptied out of breath, I'm going to turn. Then I'm going to lay forward. And then my arms are just going to rest on these other pillows. And your head can either turn all the way or it can stay turned to the left. So whatever feels more appropriate on your cervical spine. And if for some reason here you're feeling like this is too flat, then feel free to prop up another throw pillow right here to get a little bit more elevated with the chest and head. Yeah, that might feel a little better for you. Okay. All right. Remembering that you take the postures to a point of comfort, nowhere near pain or sensation at all in a restorative practice. This should be somewhere you can completely let go into and you can really soak up all of the breath in these poses. So get yourself set up into the twist. And now do the right side. So start on the right hip, turn to the right. Then at the end of your timer, turn to the other side, set your timer again. And so you'll turn to the left for the second side and make any adjustments that you need to in between the sides. If you need more support or less from side to side, honor that, take that. And so this posture, do about 8 to 10 minutes on each side. Okay. All right. So get yourself set up in your twist. Set your timer for 8 to 10 minutes, whatever you've got for each side, turning very slowly in between the sides. And I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit of the effects of this practice already for you. So next we're going to come into a forward fold. And so you're going to take this forward fold in whatever way makes the most sense for your body. So from here, so what you're going to do is you're going to take a throw blanket and just kind of fold it so that it's, similar to like a yoga blanket you'd find at the yoga studio, nice and long. And we're going to sit up on the edge of that blanket. Okay. And then I'm going to take one of my couch cushions and bring it towards me. Okay. Now, this means that my legs are pretty wide. Okay. So if this is too much for you, turn it like this. And then I want you to prop the edges up a little bit so that you can slide your legs more underneath. Let me see, where's my other pillow? Just like this. And then your legs can kind of slide underneath. And then this couch cushion comes right more closer to you. Okay? And then we're going to fold forward. And now you can see there's a lot of space here. And I don't want a lot of space. So first of all, I'm going to take my legs a little wider. And then I'm going to set myself up a little higher just by wrapping a throw blanket here. You can also take your other couch cushion and lay on it. And then if you have enough things to stuff underneath your knees, the pillows go underneath your knees really well. So here we go. Here's where I have arrived. My legs are a little wide, my knees are bent, the pillows are underneath my knees. I'm propped up pretty high on my pelvis so that I'm not rounding into my low back, and I'm folding forward. Okay? Now you can also do this actually right up against your couch. So let me use this stool as an example. So if this is my couch and laying forward onto my couch cushions doesn't work, right? I can just simply cross my legs and lay forward. And so then I'm just supported here on my couch. And my elbows are out to the sides, my hands are right ahead of me. Yeah. And then you're just going to want to partway through, and your body may tell you when, but roughly halfway through, you're going to want to change the crossing of your legs, okay? And then just refold. And also halfway through, you're going to want to turn your head to face the opposite direction to just balance out that cervical spine. So you can do this forward fold on your couch cushions. You can do it on your couch itself, whatever makes sense for you. If you tend to be able to fold a little farther forward, then use the couch cushions. If when you fold far forward, it's uncomfortable for you, then use your couch, right? This is why we're using the wonderful props that we have around our home, okay? And just let yourself kind of breathe into the back body here. Let the breath expand into the back space, low back, the back ribs, right? And so the rule of thumb with restorative yoga is that if you feel sensation, then wherever that sensation is not supported enough. So that means you need to grab more props. You need to grab more pillows, more cushions, more blankets, whatever you've got around your house. Don't feel afraid to use everything you have in your house. The more props, the better in restorative yoga, because we really want the body to feel like it's not to its edge. It's at a place where breath still happens, where release and softening still happens. So get yourself set up in this forward fold. And if you need to rewind and see the setup for each one, remember we're using either the cushions to fold forward onto or the couch itself. Getting yourself a nice, some completely supported. Also notice if there's any air. We typically say if there's air, there's not enough support. So if you see air anywhere, stuff pillows, blankets, whatever needs to be stuffed so that you can take a rest. So this pose, I'm going to tell you anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes, depending on how comfortable you're feeling. If at 8 minutes you're like, I'm done, this is not working for me any longer, come out. Don't stay in something that's not serving you properly. But we typically go 8 to 12 minutes on this posture. So go ahead and get yourself set up. Pause the video, and I will see you in a few minutes. Enjoy. Excellent. Welcome back. So, our next posture we're going to do is called babbling brook. And so, it typically just is because your body is like a babbling brook going over the rocks. Okay. So, for this one, you're only going to need 2 blankets. So, we're going to set up these blankets just a few inches apart. Okay. And everything else, I'm just going to kind of scoot off to the side so it's not in my way. There we go. And you're going to want space for your legs and space for your head. So I'm going to take my knees over this blanket, and then I'm just going to lay back. Hopefully you can see me. Let me slide a little bit more this way. So I'm going to lay back, you'll see, so that my head comes over this pillow, but my shoulder blades are still hovering off of the ground. So it's just the tip of my shoulder blades that's on the pillow, on the edge of the pillow. Then my arms are going to go out to the side. I'm going to adjust that pillow so it's right underneath my knees and my thighs. And breathe into the ribs. And so if these pillows are too big, or if your pillows that you've chosen are too big, then use something smaller. Then use just a regular throw blanket. Again, in kind of its longer fold. So then it would be a little less of a back bend. You can also kind of makeshift or adjust the knees are a little higher than the shoulders. That's fine too. Or you can take both a little lower. So I'll show you what that looks like with just some throw blankets. So my throw blankets are about in this width right here. Yep. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to place my knees and then lay back so that the tip of my shoulder blades hits the tip of this blanket. Lay back, arms out to the sides. Just going to adjust this blanket a little higher. So if that means that your ribs can soften a little bit more, then great. Good. So we're getting a little bit deeper back bend here and a support for the low back underneath the knees. That's really the key here. So it doesn't matter how high you go, it doesn't matter which height you choose. What matters is that this can happen, right? That this softening through the ribs can happen, not a jetting out and holding, right? That means that you're too high, there's tension in the body, right? But also remember that within the first couple of minutes, you're going to release and soften a little bit more anyway. But we don't want to go anywhere with pain or deep sensation. So set yourself up for babbling brook, either 2 throw blankets or 2 pillows, or maybe a pillow and a throw blanket, whatever works best for the position and height. But remember, the edge of this blanket or pillow is going to hit right here at the base of your shoulder blades so that your upper shoulders are hovering off of the ground, but your head is on the ground. And don't put anything underneath there. The intention here is to take that back bend and feel supported. Okay, so for this one, 10 to 15 minutes. Your choice how long you stay. Okay, so get yourself set up, set your timer. You can put your eye pillow over your eye mask over your face again if you'd like, and I will see you in a few minutes. Excellent. I hope that that back bend worked nicely for you. And so next, we're going to do a Shavasana, but we're going to do a different Shavasana than our typical laying on the back Shavasana. In restorative yoga, there's a lot of Shavasanas, and typically anything where the back is flat on the mat or on your whatever the surface is you're practicing on, that's typically called a type of Shavasana. So the legs can be up in the air, but if the pelvis and the head and the heart are all in one line, you're typically in a Shavasana. But today we're going to take a side lying Shavasana. And I love this. It's just nice. It feels very cozy. It feels very supported. It feels very engaged. I love to do this with my pregnant ladies who feel better laying on their side than they do their back. Even propped up sometimes doesn't feel so good when you're a little further along in your pregnancy. So a nice side lying Shavasana is beautiful. But I will tell you, when I first learned this side lying Shavasana and I was asked to come out of it, I actually made a little bit of a fuss because I didn't want to leave. I could have stayed in this forever. So that being said, let's get you all set up. So here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to recommend that you set one of your couch cushions up against your couch. So just stand it up right against the couch, okay? Because you're going to be right in front of that couch cushion. And you're going to lay onto your side, okay? And I'm going to have this other couch cushion in front of me. My pillow is going to be right underneath my head, okay? And then my other pillow, let's see if I can show you this setup. My other pillow is going to be just like this. And my couch cushion is going to prop. So I have, if I can wiggle my fingers at you, I have space here. And that's where my left arm is going to go. Okay. Again, I want a throw blanket between my knees and my feet so that I support my pelvis. If you're practicing on a little harder surface, put your other throw blanket or something underneath your hip so that you're more comfortable. Okay. Now, I'm going to lay down and I'm going to slide my left arm underneath this bolster and I'm going to lift up this couch cushion so you can see it. So my head is on the pillow, resting. My left arm is out to the side and I want to snuggle a little bit so that I'm more towards the shoulder blade of that shoulder. All right, my knees are bent here. Then I'm going to just place my arm right here on top of this bolster, this couch cushion, so that my head is resting, my arm is underneath the couch cushion, and I have plenty of space here. So there's no weight on my left arm. And I can just release. And if you scoot back enough, you can rest your back against this other couch cushion, or you can just slide this couch cushion to you and kind of lean it against you so that it's like you're being held and supported on your back. So I suggest scooting back to your couch all the way back so that you have, just that little something to lean against. And so this is a beautiful, nice side laying. If you have a blanket that you can just throw over you like you're in a tent and you're just completely covered in your little world, then that is an amazing addition as well. Your eye mask, right? Really make this comfortable for you. This is Shavasana, but this is so still restorative. And so in a restorative practice, Shavasana is not our typical 8 to 10-minute Shavasana. Shavasana is at least 15 minutes, but we're going to shoot for 20. So my task to you tonight is to do this pose for 20 minutes. Set your timer, cover yourself, really, really find a place where you can let go, you can be in this posture, and you can absorb it. And so this is also one that I recommend you could do every night before bed, right? And just 20-minute Shavasana. If the whole world did a 20-minute Shavasana every day, oh, how peaceful would we be? Amazing, right? So get yourself set up, side lying Shavasana. Set your timer for 20 minutes. If you don't have 20 minutes, don't worry about it. Give yourself at least 10, please. But if you can shoot for at least 15, then that would go better. Okay? And then I will see you in just a few minutes. Enjoy your posture. Okay, welcome back, friends. So, congratulations. You just gave yourself a restorative yoga practice. You just gave yourself the gift of letting go, the gift of space, clarity, and peace. So, this practice will support you, this practice will hold you, this practice will encompass you as much as you will let it. And I invite you to do it as regularly as you can to see the best benefits. So, thank you for practicing with me tonight. Let's all bring our palms together in front of our hearts and just bow our heads. We always bow with gratitude, for a life with gratitude is a life with peace, a life with joy, a rich life full of love and everything that we need. And so we give gratitude for this life. We give gratitude for this practice. We give gratitude for our prana, the breath, and the energetic force that guides us, moves through us, and keeps us flowing through this life. Namaste.